That's fine.
Globby.
Loeb
But,
trotter.
you know, I'm not globetrotter. I prefer that. All right, I'm a globetrotter, innit? So I'm not like not trying to like disprove your point. I'm not trying to prove you wrong because I do think that even if I could point to a piece of evidence and say that proves I'm right and you're wrong, don't think you would believe that, and I don't
Why?
think
Well,
if
don't you just
no
you don't know us that well. We're not tied to this. We're
Whoa,
not
hold on. Why are you
tattooing flat
interrupting
Earth
him?
on our body.
We will control you. We will meet you and control you if you don't stop doing this. I don't know.
Hold on. Yeah, we will control you. Are you triggered, bro? I feel like we're having a nice, pretty good discussion. I just wanted to stop him there because, like, we would be open to. We want the smoke. We want you to bring it to us. We don't tattoo flat Earth on our bodies.
No.
So like we're like, oh, I'm never gonna go against the flat Earth. Like if it's curved, it's fine. I'm happy to go back to the globe. You should present whatever you think is true, and we'll go with that. That's what we're here for.
But what I'm saying is, it wasn't a comment on you. It was mostly a comment on like anything, right? Like I'm sure that like let's say half the people in here are globetrotters. I'm coining that name now. It's a really cool name. Half the people here, if you pointed to something that absolutely proved your position, I guarantee that those half people wouldn't switch to your position, and like vice versa.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But there was also like the fact that there's an audience listening as well. There's tons of people that are new to this. So you should put whatever smoke out there that you can and let it's like being in front of a jury, right? Me and you, we're the lawyers. I'm for my client, you're for your client, Globe. My client's Flat Earth. Or the judge, or maybe you're God or whatever. But then there's the jury. Make your case known to the jury. It doesn't matter what I think. I'm the lawyer on the other side. Don't worry about me. Put it out there for the jury and let the people decide. We're live on YouTube. It's not just the people in this call. We do this live every day. So you never know who's listening. So put it out there for them, bro. We were here for that.
No, I would say I'm more of. Yeah, I don't think the call room analogy really works. What I was trying to say
is perfect, actually. It is perfect, actually.
No, for me, because like I'm not bringing up any arguments because I don't really know that many arguments. I'm just trying to understand your position better, right? Like, I'm not really trying to refute you because like can't do that.
Well, hold on. Did you already? It seemed like it sunk in when the water was brought up. They say we're on a ball with its surface covered 70% with water. That seemed to register to you. Now you've forgotten it. Water's not doing that. Water's not doing that in reality.
Sorry,
you said that was a good point.
Did I?
I don't think he's answered anything you've said is a good point.
Yeah, well, it wasn't me. It was what CB said about the water.
Why would you say like I would bring stuff up, but you wouldn't believe? What was the point of saying that if you didn't have anything?
No.
He did say a good point, by the way.
Sure, I did. No, what
now you remember, but now you've forgotten. Okay, carry on.
Kind of a double standard here, or interrupting people. Just saying.
Well, what was the good point?
And he's doing it again.
Start complaining. No, don't start complaining. What was the good point?
I don't know. Like what? I don't remember saying good point.
You did.
Okay. Gnat-like memory. Got it.
I mean, it's fine, but let him just.
What the? Okay. What I was.
No wonder you real. No wonder why you believe the outer space.
Jesus Christ. We get you triggered, bro. God, just relax.
I'm just wondering. So
you are genuinely triggered.
So you are genuinely people Globe at the same time.
Relax. You are running the panel. Obviously,
and that's completely false, dude. We meet flat earthers all the time.
I mean, he just interrupted moving again.
We handle the moderation, Calvin. Just relax, dude. Take it easy.
All right. So, what I was trying to say is, I'm not trying to review anyone's points. I'm trying to learn about your points because I don't know. I'm trying to like diversify my knowledge by learning of your points, right? Because I can't really come in with any evidence to try and refute you unless I know of your arguments, right? Because like you've got like a very different view to like, let's say Tim, who also believes the F's flat. He believes you don't believe the F's flat. You believe that the F's like the universe, right? But Tim, he believes the F's flat. So like
that's the same thing. Yeah, but I do think the Earth is flat. I know the Earth is flat, but I don't really because that's the same thing. But go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is Tim believes the Earth is completely flat. He doesn't believe in this. He doesn't believe in that. If I come in with studies that disprove Tim's point, you guys can easily just say, oh, well, I don't believe that, right? So I'm just trying to...
No.
Well, don't worry about us. I wouldn't agree with it. That's why we stopped you earlier. Is I don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You should just bring... If the truth is the truth, it doesn't matter what people's opinions on it are. If it's true, it's true. And like, again, you should be worrying about the audience and not the person across from you. More importantly.
Yeah,
and like we should just go through things with a fine tooth. We always go through things with a fine tooth comb. If someone's like, "Well, all these experts say this," well, okay, well, which expert? Let's pick one, and then let's see what he says specifically, and we'll go into it, see what if it's true or not. We're not just gonna go, "Well, I just don't like that." Like,
exactly.
You're completely missing his point. You know, he's just saying. If he was countering some like the basic flat Earth position with an argument,
you see how you're being begged, though?
Position. Yeah, but you're listening.
My point was that we go into things specifically. If there's something he wants to refute, well, it's fine. We'll break it down with a fine-tooth comb. We don't just do this hand wave over the top, like, nah, I don't like it, like that. But you're trying to make it seem like what we do.
But that's not what he's saying. He's not making it just okay.
Yeah, that's what you're saying as well.
Or it's not what either was saying.
Okay, well that's fine. So clarify. So what you're saying is what? That if two people have a different viewpoint on something that's subjective, all of a sudden, what? What are you going?
You're asking me about it.
I think they should go into it specifically, and you're saying they should just drop it and shake hands and leave. Like, I don't.
No, what?
Okay, no. What I was saying is there's no point in me coming here with arguments that refute something that we're not even talking about, right? I'm saying down the road believes this thing. Let's say no one in this call thinks that thing. There's no point in me bringing that up.
Yes, there is.
No one thinks that.
Yes, there is. If it's the truth, then we want to know. And the audience should hear it as well.
Wait, CV, what is he even talking about specifically? Are you just using a hypothetical example? Or can you give us a specific example? Is this a way out for you, or can you give us a specific example?
So, do you guys just love to argue with people? I don't know.
I'm asking you a serious question, bro. You brought up a scenario something different. What is that specific thing? We're trying to have a conversation, and now you don't want to address the question I gave you.
What is what specific?
Be specific for you. I'll be specific for you. If you go into a forum, a Discord that thinks 2 + 2 is 5, I would go in there and say, I know 2 + 2 is 4. Here's the facts.
Yeah.
You're saying, well, no, I wouldn't do that. I would just not do that. Well, I would, because you never know who's listening. One, and the truth is the truth. You should be comfortable by sticking by the truth. Doesn't matter how you are. Like, I think you should stand on business, bro. Like the kids say.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying though. So this all started because I was trying to explain where I'm coming from by asking questions, because I didn't want anyone to get offensive when I was asking questions, because it kind of seemed like the questions that I were asking were like kind of trying to be argumentative. I was just I just wanted to understand your position better. I wasn't trying to refute your points.
So meta.
And then I was explaining why I'm trying to learn about your points. I'm trying to learn about your points so I can do.
We don't care, bro.
Then why is anyone?
I feel like we gave you our position fairly well. I mean, is there other things you'd like to know? I don't feel like we need to talk about talking. We can go into specifics. What is it that you want to know? We gave you a position now. Huh?
You're the one who asked further, right? You're saying, oh, we don't need to talk about talking.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we're doing this whole meta discussion, like, well, I would talk about this, but I don't feel the need. Like, we can get into stuff specifically.
Asking a question.
It's just weird now. But what else do you need to know? What else can we help you with?
So you've explained the thing. Is there a model?
No.
Do you believe in? No.
Nor is there any global model, by the way.
Yeah, there's no global model. There's also no universe model, as far as I'm concerned, and nor do you guys even care to have one. So we don't really care to have one. We don't need one. Again, there's no way to leave reality to say what it looks like from an outside point of view. So we can't create a model to give to someone, like a little mini-me, like a Hot Wheels, and say, here's a miniature version of reality. I don't think that's even possible. So we don't worry about that. And the real thing is better than the model of it anyway. If you were to offer the keys to your favorite car or a Hot Wheels version of that, you're taking the keys all day, every day. Or like, there's a saying, the menu is not the meal. So the representation of something is far less important than the actual thing itself. So you're on the earth outside, like directly. That's the key part. So having a little like miniature version of it isn't really that. It's not key here. Long story short, there's no model. You don't need one.
Okay. And then what do you think about the sun and moon and all that?
Unknown phenomena. Don't know what the sun is. Don't know what stars are. Why this guy's gonna laugh because he's gonna pretend like he knows more than any human in history.
No, I think it's funny. It's funny. You're like, no, we don't have a model. We don't have any evidence. We don't have any evidence apart from like
you're very high strung right now.
Hold your reins in a little.
You're extremely high strung right now. You just need to like take a chill pill. We do know things. Hold on. Look, you're very triggered, dude. Like the other guy's very calm. He's asking questions. You're high strung like a motherfucker. Who hurt you? I don't like somebody hurt you. Like just relax, dude. We do know things. We know for sure. Okay, you're done. We do know for a fact that the surface of the Earth is flat, and we're totally fine standing on that. We don't need to know. Like, first of all, if you're gonna mock us for not having a model, we'll present your model, and we'll mock that. Then once you present that, we'll ask you to present a model of the universe, which you definitely don't have. So it's like these weird double standards. You and I are exactly the same. I presented you the characteristics of the reality that we both share: boundaries, not reached; shape, not known. Right? Large, fully unexplored place. You're mocking your own worldview when you try to laugh. We know for sure the surface of the Earth is flat. That's the business we stand on. So what's so funny about that? We're totally comfortable in our position, and you seem rather uncomfortable in the fact that you're laughing at your own issues. So the other guy's far more calm. I don't know why you're so high strung, bro. Like, anyway, the sun and the moon, the stars. Everyone knows the bedtime story. The flat earthers in here probably know it better than Gobstan. We could sit and regurgitate it better than you, but that's not knowledge. That's a bedtime story. No one in human history has ever known what the sun is, the stars are, moon, shooting stars. These things are unknown phenomena that take place above you. Knowing them doesn't change the surface of the Earth anyway. Go ahead.
Question, you asked us what we think of them. I think they're beautiful. I think they're very pretty and fascinating. That's what I think of them. Is that the question you were asking?
I want to know what they are and how they fit into this worldview. No one knows, dude. No one knows.
So, so yeah, I was just gonna say, because so what do you think about like the obviously people globetrotters, their explanation for the sun and the moon? I know that you don't think that the Earth's a globe, but their explanation for the sun and the moon, what do you think of that? Do you think if the Earth is a globe, do you think
they're just stories?
We can easily pull apart because we'd already talked about gas pressure. So what they're saying about the sun is absolutely impossible. Same thing with stars. They're saying or Jupiter, for example, which is supposed to be a gas planet, right? That cannot exist. You need a container for gas pressure. Done. So we already their explanation is a good story. It makes sense. It's cool. I used to believe it, just like everyone else. But stories are just stories. They're made to make sense, and we can easily debunk what they're saying about these things. No problem. Also, the idea of that there's land above you, I find just to be laughable. The moon, for example, they're saying is like a chunk of land that's above you. Land is below you. You're on land. So to say there's more land up there, ground, dirt, rock, ice, whatever, I find that to just be silly.
Yeah, but
it's not a good explanation. It's just silly. It's a silly story.
Globetrotters believe that there is no up, so it wouldn't be above you.
Well, you get what I'm saying. Yeah, right? You get what I'm saying. They're there's more land up there, essentially. If you were to raise your arm up above your head, you're saying there's land there.
Mm-hmm.
Which I just think that's dumb.
Is there any way to account for seasonal changes? For example, Australia's seasons being different because they're on the southern hemisphere?
Okay, so two things. Number one, I'm begging the question with this idea of hemisphere. Number two, the angular relationship of the sun to the earth and the seasons is just something that's observed. To create a story about that, especially with the heliocentric idea, which is that in the winter, you're closer to the sun, and in the summer, you're farther away, is not only incoherent, but it's laughable. So the heliocentric story is the opposite of what you actually experience. And by the way, the descriptions of the angles to the sun during the seasons is on a flat earth.
Okay, but I meant more specifically Australia being the opposite of, let's say, America.
Yeah. I know you asked that. I know that you've been given a story that it's on the opposite antipodal side of a ball, but the Earth would have to be a ball in the first place to make that assumption and make that claim. There's no evidence for that.
Yeah, I know. That's what you think. I'm asking why.
No, it's not what I know. That's what the USGS and everybody else who surveys the Earth and measures it says. It's not my claim.
Okay, I'm still asking why the season's different.
Why the season's different? Because the angular relationship between the sun and the Earth are different if the sun moves between the tropics during the year, and that's why you have different seasons in different places at different times. It's pretty simple.
Okay, so what changes throughout the year?
The sun.
The sun moves between the tropics. I just said that.
Okay, yeah.
Are you listening, bro?
So when you're saying the sun moves throughout the year?
Yeah. You don't observe that?
Dabloons, if I might, how do you think we know the relationship between the sun in the winter or in the summer? Let's say if you're in the northern part, how do you think we know that it changes angularly to your position to be winter, let's say? How do you think we know that?
I'm going to say we observe it. Let's say that.
Well, that's correct. So we do observe it, but the real reason why we know is because it's measured by elevation angle from the surface of the horizontal plane that you're standing on. That's how we know that it moves further south in the winter and closer to the north, or closer to the north center in the summer for the northern part. So that's how we know through elevation angles. That's how we actually developed latitude, is by the relationship of Polaris as an angle measurement from the horizontal. Do you know how or if it's possible to get an angle or an elevation angle measurement from a curved surface, and what would be the method of doing that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, there is no way, because if you have a triangle and you're triangulating and making an elevation angle, you cannot have the bottom or the adjacent curved. That doesn't equal a triangle. There's no way to measure an angle from a curved surface, even if you were able to, and say, if some people say in here that they're using a sagitta, which is a straight line, or where the circle or the curved arc meets a horizontal that you're creating, then if you move, the angle's different. So it doesn't work. So that being said, I think part of the problem is here, Dabloon, you sound like you're an honest bloke. You're actually trying to ask questions. I appreciate that. Everyone here appreciates that. The problem is, the way I see it, is that you can listen to us. We can post these things about Einstein's theory of gravity and all this stuff, and citations galore, and talk to you about how we know the Earth is flat. But when you check out of here and you go on back home, you're just going to go, it's still a globe. So what I see it, the way I see it is this. We can go through a few points, which would be like, the points are, here's the primary claims of the globe Earth are that it's a sphere, so it's curving on the surface, that it's in motion, it's rotating and it's orbiting around the sun, and then that it's an open system that they can go in and out of with their so-called spaceships. So those are the three claims that the globe presents to us. So what I'd like to do is walk you through just real quickly. It takes less than 5 minutes, probably 3 minutes. And I would say these questions that I'm going to ask are going to break it down to where once you leave here, there's going to be no going back to saying, I know, because right now you still think you know. So I'd like to ask you a few questions. And I would say this in the preface, that if you don't know exactly like how and what method is used to do these things, just say you don't know. That's the honest answer. It's okay. All of us in here have had to say we don't know. And you hear us like when asked about the sun. So I'd like to ask you, do you know of any time in history?
One section before you do.
Do you know of any time? Hold on. Do you know of any time in history?
No, 1 sec, Sonny, real quick.
Okay.
Please, guys, Dabloon and Gob, just keep an eye on the side chat. There's people posting information pertinent to what we're talking about.
Okay.
Please continue.
Thanks, G-Dub. A little business there. Okay, so the first question is this. Do you know of any time in history that anybody's measured the surface of Earth directly?
No.
And measured it to be curving?
No. I don't know of any time in history where anyone's measured anything. Like, I can't point to a thing. I'm not like, not really in science. I'm just trying to learn some points.
Yeah, that's an honest answer. Okay, so the second question is, do you know of any time in history or by any method, any technology that anybody has detected Earth in motion?
Same answer as last time.
Okay, so you don't know, that's honest. So now the next question is, do you know of how or any demonstration of gas pressure being achieved or maintained without a container?
No, again, same point as last time. Like, if you're gonna if you ask me like any question about the science behind something or the historical stuff that's happened, I'm gonna say no, because again, I'm not trying to like refute any points. I'm literally just trying to learn people's opinions.
Yeah. Okay. It's great. So these things are actually not opinions, but I appreciate your question. So you were very honest with all of that. So the purpose of those questions are this: that where you think you know of curvature of Earth being a sphere, that it being in motion, or that it is in an open system with gas pressure that we know we have. So those things that you have in your mind are only a belief system. That's it. You have nothing to back it up with. And I guarantee you, a lot of us have been in here. I've been here in this topic for 8 years. And all of us that have been in here have studied and researched and dug and dug and dug to try to find this information of curvature, motion of Earth, and gas pressure being obtained without a container. And it can't be found. That's why we're still here. So that answers the question of why all these flat earthers are here still after 10 years and more. So that is just to clear the air to show you that you only have a belief, and that if you're going to try to rely on anything that Earth is a globe, as far as the actual Earth, the surface of Earth, and what its condition is, that there's nothing to back it up at all. So a lot of times what I tell people is when they're not able to provide any of the substantial information that would prove undoubtedly, verifiably, that Earth is what they say it is, that is only a belief. It actually is akin to religion. Belief without any backing or proof. So thank you for being honest with that. Now, the deal is, you can't really go back and say that you know Earth is a globe unless you provide information on those 3 points. So now we can go on to what we've found. And I'll be quick here, and I'm just going to end it with this. The reason we don't need a model is because what we do is we use the outside. Reality itself is the model. So we go and look at natural phenomenon out in reality. We use that as our guide. We don't have to run to a model back at our desk at home, in our offices or whatever, and revert back to a model if we don't know something. We go out and we question what we're seeing out in nature. Most of us here have all done our own observations, long-distance observations. So the thing is, go do your own research. If you're near water, I guarantee you can see further than what the globe metrics are stating. And it basically amounts to 3 miles, 72 inches a drop, 5 miles, 16 feet a drop, 10 miles is 66 feet a drop. These are easily determined if there's a drop over distance. So I'll just end with that and let the rest of the room, you can ask more questions and research this on your own. Appreciate your time.
I feel like I was right. I feel like I need to clap or something.
Wait, very good? Is it very good or very your?
Very well.
Thank you.
The chat is just arguing.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
You said it's very good this time, Gabi.
So yeah, the questions were not only for Dabloons, but for people like Gobstan as well, because he basically has a belief. And if he cannot provide anything that counters what I just asked Dabloons, he's in the same boat. So if he wants to hold on and, like people say, die on that hill, that means if he just concludes that we're wrong without any evidence to the contrary, then he's just religious. So he can go on with his religious zealotry if he wants, but we just put that in the same stash or same pile as any other religious zealot. We don't appreciate it because it sounds like chanting after a while. We've heard enough of that. We were all globers here in the beginning. We didn't fall off a beat truck and end up flat earthers. Like, we weren't born flat earthers. We were all globers. We all believe the same thing that all of you do, including Dabloons, Gobstan, and anybody else that's here in the chat. I'll end with that. Thanks for letting me share.
Right now, Gob is just playing everything that Flat Earther says with you. So it doesn't matter what we say, you're just going to go against it right now. This is exactly what's happening in the chat. Welcome back to Bomb Eraser. Go ahead, pop the phone. Let's go.
Yeah, hey, just real quick. Hey, the Blooms, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, so I can't, dude, I'm happy to hear what your that buddy Gob over there, Gob saying whatever. Okay, I went back to the recording when Creation Bear said he was talking for like a minute or two, and he told you all this stuff, and then he gets to the end with he's telling you how just taking the observations over water, the physics of it, and you literally say that's a good point on that.
Yeah.
Okay, but Gob is saying you said that's your point on that, but I want you for him because he's an idiot. I want you to just say it again. You said that's a good point on that, right? Or did you say that's your point on that?
It's just the same thing. Does anyone want to screen share so we can analyze the video frame by frame?
You don't remember what you said, though? I mean, we can do that. I don't have to hear both ways.
No. Who cares? You just tell him what he said, what you heard. If he doesn't continue, just kick him out of here. Yeah,
the Balloon's already admitted he said it was a good point.
Okay, perfect. So the other guy conceded. Those are the rules. Good, perfect. That guy's an idiot. They're never wasting my time to go listen to their stupid dumb clip, and then the evidence is contrary to what they said, and they expect not to get the hammer on their face. Get real.
Is someone playing Eye in the Sky? It doesn't affect the average person enough. Let's say the Earth is a globe. Could you understand why there wouldn't be all this giant campaign to show evidence of the Earth being a globe? Because I don't think it affects the average person enough that anyone would.
No, yeah, but you're wrong, sir. Let me tell you why. It's very simple. You're wrong because demonstrably it's actually the opposite. So, for example, the topic of ensuring everyone that the Earth is actually a globe made it all the way to the halls of Congress where they had to talk about it. Okay, presidents of the United States from their podium mention it, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone is trying to convince everyone. In fact, you go look up on YouTube and other places right now for flat Earth content, and you will find disclaimers that the Earth isn't flat. That's been disproven. No, we promise you it's a globe still. So it's actually the case that there's a lot of effort spent in convincing people that the Earth is a globe.
Why? I forgot to ask this earlier. Why? Why is the government lying about going into space? Why is the government lying about the Earth being a globe? I mean, lying.
Oh, why did the government lie? Why did the government lie when they gave the black dude syphilis? I mean, think about it, dude. We know governments lie. We know governments have power agendas. It's happening on the world stage right now. In fact, friend, I've been in Iraq. And do you know why we went to Iraq back then? It was claimed about weapons of mass destruction. Wasn't it the case that the people involved, the government agents, were accused of lying about it? Yes, it's true, wasn't it? So there's lies everywhere, brother.
Yeah, I know there's lies. I'm asking, like, why are there lies? Like,
can you think of a reason why? Can you think of a reason why they would lie about that?
Why would they lie about the Earth?
Yeah, you give it a few turns on the whole crank.
I can't think of one.
I'll give you one.
Does the government lie about anything to you? Does the government lie about anything?
Yeah, the government lies about a lot of things, but there's a lot of things I can think of.
Lie though. But lie though. Who said that? That's hilarious.
Yeah, why? So think about what I told you to begin with of why the concept of the Earth being a giant egg in a cosmic void even became a thing. It became a thing in religious philosophical arguments, dude. It is rooted in philosophy and religion. It's a worldview. It's a paradigm. It has to do with who you are, where you're going, and who you're responsible to. In other words, it's the great metaphysical questions. Who I am, where I am, what I'm doing here, and am I accountable? Those are the great questions of identity. And to control someone's ethos of their identity, dude, is to control them. This is well known, dude. In fact, if you look up game theory about telling the truth, especially in regard to warfare, control, and power, you will find that the axiomatic truth is this. Not why would they lie, but the opposite. Why would they ever tell the truth? Because the first rule of power is to be unknown. And part of the second and third rule is to control the knowledge. So if they're telling you your entire universe is something other than the truth, and you're living up game theory about telling the truth, especially in regard to warfare, control, and power, and you will find that the axiomatic truth is this. Not why would they lie, but the opposite. Why would they ever tell the truth? Because the first rule of power is to be unknown. And part of the second and third rule is to control the knowledge. So if they're telling you your entire universe is something other than the truth, and you're living within a fantasy universe to which they're setting the stage, that is a good enough reason to lie about it, dude. This is well known, dude. It's not even a mystery.
Controlling and manipulating your entire life path is something that could be utilized, right?
Yeah, I just don't.
Your whole mindset is based off of this thing you believe, so it matters.
I don't really see how my whole mindset is based off believing that the Earth's a globe.
How was the Earth
That's
created?
how deep it is.
What did you say?
How was the Earth created?
How was the Earth created?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so let me change that question real quick. What he's asking you is one of the great metaphysical questions that I already described. Where did you come from? And he's asking you in the form of the Earth. Where did the Earth come from? Where'd you, and by transposition, down the line, eventually where did you come from? So he's asking you these metaphysical questions. So your answer is going to be telling to how you think about who you are as an identity. So go ahead, answer the question. Where did the Earth come from?
I don't know.
Okay, perfect. You don't know. The next metaphysical question. Why are you here?
I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Dude, don't stress out about it. You don't know. That's the answer. Next question. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Okay, perfect. So we have 3 questions. The only one of them did you actually answer with something. You said nowhere. Okay, perfect. Now the 4th question. Are you accountable to anyone?
Yeah.
Who?
What did you say?
Who are you accountable to?
The people I know.
Okay, so what you've told us is that you don't know where you came from. You don't know you don't know who you are.
Well,
why you're here. Okay, you don't know why you're here. Right? But you know you're going nowhere, and you know you're only accountable to humanity. That's a worldview, dude. And guess what that cuts out? That cuts out an entire metaphysical paradigm that's been pervasive in the human condition for millennia, which is the idea that there's a higher power that has a purpose for us, and we're accountable to it. So what you've just proven right there.
Oh,
dude, yes, you did, dude.
I didn't.
If you didn't say that, then you would answer the questions differently, dude. Watch, ask me the same questions and see how easy I can answer. Go ahead, ask the questions.
What was the first one?
Where'd you come from?
Yeah, where'd you come from?
Yeah, an intelligent agent, sentient creator God. Next question.
Yeah, I could do that. That would be pretty fun. Get test my math skills considering the fact that I haven't done math in a very long time.
Okay. So if you go into like really high up, so let's say there's a picture taken from a rocket that went really high up and it shows like Earth and then it shows like vacuum of space. Would that picture be fake?
Yeah, it's got the vacuum of space in it.
Yeah, so Elon Musk has a picture like that. So he's in on it, right?
Potentially.
Wow.
It's really hard to point fingers. I don't want to be dishonest with you, but I want to give you a clear answer. The clear answer is I don't know the motives or intentions of what other people know. I'm not going to be able to divine their thoughts, right? I can speculate. These people say to have gone to space. Well, they're lying about the vacuum space. That can't exist. So potentially, but I wouldn't be able to put 100% on it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would feel like he's the richest person. Like, seems like the type, you know.
If I could ask, like, it's more of a pro tip for you. Put your detective hat on, bro. Don't be so concerned with the individuals and the people and how they feel about it. Go find out for yourself. There is evidence on the table for you to digest, if you will. You should focus on that. You don't have to do it today or tomorrow. You don't have to become a flat earther this year. But when people are like, so what about this guy, or what about that guy, or what about this government or that government? Don't worry about the people. It's about the evidence. That's the key point of this whole thing. You can find out for yourself. You can be one of those guys where you're like, it's not me. It's got to be these big brains over there. Like, you're the big brain. I wouldn't worry about what other people think or feel. It's fun, but it's not really that effective.
Yeah, but like realistically, if I look,
it doesn't lead you anywhere. Because like, even if you were to go ask Elon Musk, hey, do you think it's flat? Do you think he's going to tell you the truth? Even if he did know, like, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be so concerned with the individuals and their feelings or thoughts or opinions. You can be that individual. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, besides, Elon's the one who said, it's real because it looks so fake.
Oh, yeah. The man who threw a Tesla car into the vacuum of space. Yeah, I remember that. You can tell it's real because it's fake. Yeah.
Apparently, isn't it still orbiting up there?
Fuck those, man.
I think it's stuck up there, bro.
Personally, that was one of the ideas that pushed me farther away from believing in outer space, because I did. But when they started pushing this idea that we're going to put cars up there and stuff, I'm like, what? This is cap. There's no way. It's not real. I didn't believe in the moon landing either. So, yeah. Whether Elon knows or not shouldn't sway your opinion on how this world works. At least not that much. Like, do you just go with whatever Elon says? Like, if Elon says something, that's... Huh?
The opposite of that.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
The opposite of that.
You're just going to go with the opposite of whatever Elon says?
Exactly.
That's silly.
I feel like that's more fun. And at the end of the day, isn't that all that matters?
If the truth is what matters. We do like having fun, but the truth is really the core of this whole thing.
I just think
I don't find it fun to like lie. Lies are not that fun.
I just don't find the truth effective enough, though.
Effective?
Not effective. Fulfilling, right? No, fun. Truth's not fun enough.
What? The truth is not fun.
For the truth. No, looking for the truth.
Looking for the truth isn't fun?
Yeah.
What is it?
What? Really?
What is it? If it's not fun, what is it?
Just something.
Okay, bro.
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean by if it's not fun. What is it?
What is it? Is it painful? Like, what is
it? Scary? Like, how would you describe searching for the truth? If it's not fun for you, it's something else. Like, boring.
Unfun? Like,
unfun.
Dude, I feel like
trampoline. I don't like trampoline. I don't find it fun. But, like,
is it more fun to be unconscious and unaware and not fully conscious of your surroundings or reality? Is that more fun?
I don't think that's got to do with me saying that.
Life isn't only about having fun. Let's just rip the band-aid off. Life isn't only about having fun. Dude. Sometimes you gotta work. Sometimes you gotta
but you work
do things that are difficult and not fun and not enjoyable. It's the truth hurts. Have you ever heard that before? Truth hurts?
You do unenjoyable things so you can do enjoyable things.
Sure, but have you ever heard that saying before? Truth hurts?
Yeah.
All right, well, the truth is important. It might hurt you in the process because you might have to rip off old beliefs or shred things that you previously held. Like, it's not all about having fun. We like having fun. Everyone likes having fun. That's not what it's all about.
Oh, Goku and like Gohan look the same, or I can't tell who they are in between.
No, they don't.
Here we go.
Like, the art style is so cheap. Like, I'm pretty sure like the animators just like did shortcuts and stuff. And they got confused with the character.
Oh, cool blood. Awesome, bro.
You said cool blood? Call me a blood?
Do you have anything else to add?
That's
or
your
just
name.
on mute?
Oh, that's my name. Yeah. So I came in here. Is anyone here like actual flat earthers?
As opposed to what?
Believing in flat earth.
Yeah, man.
Actual flat earthers versus like a fake flat earther? Yeah, we're sincere, bro. We mean what we're saying. But do you understand what flat earth is? Like, what an actual flat earther is? You know what that is?
Like an actual flat earther, or you mean like believing in that the earth is just flat? Like everything's just flat? Like
not believing it. Not believing it.
Not believing it?
Yeah, knowing it for a 100% fact. That 100% part is not diminished by a fraction of a decimal.
No, he was telling me like
hold on, I was almost done. 100% positively, absolutely sure that Earth is flat and stationary and contained.
What he asked me was, what is an actual flat earther? And I'm like, are you asking me if a flat earther like believes it's flat or believes like,
do you know what flat earth is?
The earth is flat, right?
in school, if your teacher says solve for X, is the answer X?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just gonna move on.
Hey, yeah, that's a point.
You're very low IQ.
Oh,
yeah, so you're asking, so I think what you need to ask is, what is a flat earther? So I think that's what Seed Creation Bear is trying to ask you.
No, I want to know.
No, he was like asking me if I knew the answer to like multiple different types of flat earthers. That's what he was asking me, and I wanted to clarify.
I'm more concerned with the position and whether you understand it or not, and we can share it with you. But I think people are quick to come in here and try to mock what a flat earther is. Oh, you flat earthers really exist? Okay, well, then what is it that we're saying? It's so crazy or so silly.
I don't think you should worry about me like criticizing. I just want to learn. I just came to learn.
Well, we can help you.
Okay, good. So what do you think? Sorry, CB. What do you think that we think Earth is? Do you have any conception of what you think we believe Earth to be?
Well, like, it's the word flat and Earth, so I'm assuming the Earth is going to be just flat.
You don't know what that means, do you?
But anything else with that? Do you have any conception in your mind of what that looks like or what it is?
Well, like an island that's floating in the sky.
Okay, so that we need to dispel that myth. None of us here believes that Earth is a floating pizza in the vacuum of space. So we don't believe in space as you believe it. It doesn't exist in reality. Earth.
My family has like a history book that's literally like bigger than my desk, right? It's a left to right read. It's about like 100 centimeters long in each direction, and it just talks about full world history. Very weird that he has that, but it's very fucking compacting with information.
I'm sure most of it's fake. Most of history.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Like a book that big probably has been duplicated, replicated, formatted over 1 million times by a random source. But he had a debate with somebody, I forget who it was, but he won a debate with someone that was like a famous astrologist about something that dealt with like cosmos and force of gravity and thrust, and he manipulated the conversation, literally make everybody believe for like 45 minutes that we don't even live and that we've been dead, blah blah blah, and people started to believe him, and then he switched it and he said that gravity wasn't real, and everyone believed him. That's how good my family is with history, and it's funny that I literally have no no knowledge whatsoever about it. It's almost like if I missed the entire thing of conclusion to learn.
Yeah. Well, sounds like flat Earth might be a good way to connect with some of that. Maybe your family too, and their interests.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll be led down all kinds of rabbit trails, man.
My family, actually, mainly everyone in my family, believes that the Earth is flat, and I know this not because they've told me, just because like what they do when they're like boating and stuff like that. Like it's just too obvious that they know. Like my grandpa was looking at land markers that were like 500 feet away. I'm like, how are you seeing that from that far away? He's like, well, there's a zoom feature, and I'm like, okay, give it to me. I zoomed in all the way. I was like, what the fuck? I can see that from all the way over here. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, that doesn't really prove that the Earth is flat in my mind. And then there was another marker, and this one was like 2,000 feet away that he was looking at. I'm like, yeah, flat Earth exists. So, yeah,
it's good when you can see it yourself, even if it's kind of like in your own meager way. Something I've done, something I encourage others to do, is do the mirror flash test with a friend. Have you heard that?
Also, yeah, mirror flash. I've heard of the name. I do not know anything about it.
So go to a hardware store, grab a hanging door mirror. Could probably get one for $20-$30, a cheap one. Doesn't have to be like nice and glass. Just a reflective plastic surface or whatever they make it out of, right? Go get the cheapest one you can find, but make sure it's pretty big. And have your friend hold it on the other side of like a 1, 2, or 3 mile body of water. So you got to coordinate this, right? So have your friend drive to one side, you stay at the other side, and get on your phone, call him, and try to coordinate, and have your friend try to mirror flash. And you got to get set up right so that the mirror can reflect the sun. Ideally, the sun is somewhere behind you. And so the sun is casting rays from behind you out in front to the mirror across the body of water. And then put your head as close to the water as you can, like your ear might be in the water. And have your friend sweep the mirror around to try and flash the light from above the water surface where the mirror is to your eyes. And if you can
get that, because that would prove it.
Yeah. If you can achieve that, then you're seeing across a body of water that doesn't curve in a way that conforms with the globe.
That's true, because flat Earth, from the sun's beams, the beams that it gives off, as you said, are behind it. So that means that the beams are able to, go further than that, even though it's behind it and it can hit the surface. which means, yeah, it would be flat, because if the water was curved, that wouldn't be possible, because the beams would be blocked. But if it's flat, then the beams wouldn't. That's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah. So take the hanging door mirror and have your friend hold it like horizontally sideways at the water's edge, at the surface. That way you can get have him like tilt it back and forth, like left and right, so that you can sweep the sun. And what you're creating is an angle. The angle goes from the point of reflection on that mirror to your eye, which will probably be downward a little bit, but over the course of like a mile or two, maybe 3. And so you're working with maybe a couple feet.
That's actually perfect, because sorry.
You're working with a couple feet of height, is all I'm saying, and you're working over distance where curvature would matter.
Mm-hmm. So that doesn't happen, and there's no curvature. All right, perfect. That's a good argument.
Yeah,
I get that.
Anyone can do it. It's cheap.
I was gonna say, what's perfect is in a month I'm actually going to I can't say that word without sounding racist.
Does it end with agua? It begins with Nicar?
Yeah.
Are you going to Nicaragua?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say it. I say it like with like full hard R and then agua. I'm like, oh, that's not said properly. There's no way. But yeah, I'm going there in a month, so I could probably do it then. Yeah.
Cool.
I think I'm going there in a month. Let me see. Yeah, probably.
Doesn't Nicaragua have that famous body of water that's like a lake with an island in the middle of it? Am I thinking of the right country? Somewhere in Central America.
Lake and island.
I think it's like an old volcano. If it's not there, it might be another country. It just seems really cool. Like if I was a
Yes, you're right. It has an island and bodies of water that surround it.
That's a wild place, man. Like I imagine that like that island is like an evil lair.
100%. I want to show you something cool. So this is what it's like. Wait. Oh my gosh. Yeah, here we go. All right. It's like this, right?
Yeah, let me see.
Wait. Here. It's like this. You see, it's like really tropical.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
That looks nice.
Yeah. And you want to know what's funny about this photo?
What's that?
Where's the fucking curvature?
Yeah, you know, if you can get some
5,000 mile radius. That's a 5,000 mile radius, and there's no, not 5,000, 5 kilometer radius, and there's no fucking curvature.
No, you have to get all the numbers in. You have to get like your height of eye and the height of a point of interest. You have to understand the geometry of what the globe claims to be, and you have to do the trig to work it out to get a testable prediction.
Do you need to use a SOHCAHTOA to do that then?
Yeah, you could. There are a bunch of ways to do it. I mean, trig kind of allows you so many different ways to work it out, but yeah.
Oh, trigonometry. Got you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I could do that. That would be pretty fun. Could test my math skills considering the fact that I haven't done math in a very long time.
Yeah, like in my job, I use a lot of statistics. I haven't had to use like geometry in freaking ages. And going into flat Earth is like, oh man, I got to go back to the basics here, trigonometry.
Yeah, it's way basic, but you don't
really need much. You don't need much. You need a little bit of algebra, a little bit of trig, like maybe 10th or 11th grade mathematics at the most, and you've got enough to work with. You don't really need to venture into calculus.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. That's what I love about flat Earth. It's so accessible to everybody.
Because in grade 12, I didn't actually take mathematics because I didn't need to, and I decided not to. But I kind of wish that I did, considering the fact that what I want to do when I'm older kind of goes against that, because I need grade 12 mathematics. So I have to go. Yeah. I'm doing online school right now just to get 2 credits so I can start my journey in fucking high school. I mean, college. But yeah.
That's good. A lot of people realize that when they get to college, they're like, oh crap, I should have taken more math. Exactly. Mathematics is the key to good jobs out there, I'm telling you folks. For the rest of you young guys and girls out there, get as much math as you can as early as possible. You're going to need it if you want to have a recession-proof job.
Even then, here's a good point of interest, right? It doesn't necessarily, math doesn't necessarily give an aspect of day to life, but the thing is, what's good about it is you can take this skill, right, for the rest of your life with whatever you do, and you can utilize it with things that you wouldn't think need to be utilized, and it just is a good structure. So,
yeah, you can figure all kinds of stuff out.
My current grade is 92%. Holy shit. What the fuck did I get on my assignment? 92% on the first assignment. Holy shit. Demonstrated a good understanding of the short story. Perfect. All right.
If you try to flex and wait through college, you're going to have a bad time. Just telling you straight up. People have tried it and have gotten burned. Same with their jobs.
No.
It's kind of something you need to be adjust in the real world.
I was surprised that I got such a high mark with fucking ChatGPT and human AI.
It's funny. One of my best friends is a finance professor, and we were talking. He's like, so he sits on the board of a major, call it an institution of financial professionals, and he gets to review papers, white papers, and various theses, and gets to review and comment on them. And he's like, so I think I just got my first case of like AI assisted plagiarism. Like, oh no, what happened? He's like, yeah, so there's this guy who's got a master's degree. He's going for a PhD in this stuff, and I'm reviewing his paper, and I'm checking out some of the links, and the links don't work. They're all 404'd. I'm like, oh no, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, I got a duty to report this too, and I really hate to do it, but this guy's career is over. It is over, and it sucks because he used ChatGPT and didn't disclose that he did, and his paper was compromised with hallucinated links.
Yeah, if you're ever using ChatGPT for an assignment, you need to use humanized AI, or else you're gonna get flagged like 150 times. And not only that, if you get flagged in college and you plagiarize with ChatGPT, you can actually get a full like lawsuit now from the school disclosing that their principles of their schooling was violated, and you can get sued like up to like 100K in Canada for it.
Wow. That is, but you know what? I support it. If you're going to use it, then be honest about it. Just be honest about it. You know, use it as a force multiplier. I'm using it in my current job. Exactly, and I disclose it, and I'm like, look, I can do 2 to 3 times as much for some of these menial tasks. I can accomplish way much more in less time with this. Everybody else, I think, in the working world has a duty to learn and embrace it too.
Another thing is if you're ever like directly copying from ChatGPT, you should always put it into your own words, because that way, even if you use only like 5 of your words, it can't be detected back to the AI. That's the trick about it. Reorganization with an AI. If they quote it to an AI, the AI system will be like, I've never seen this pace before. Perfect.
Even better, I fully understand what.
Ways to get around it.
I know, but it's better to just learn the material, man. When you start getting higher up in academics, or maybe even in your job, you're going to be in situations where you can't rely on it on the moment. Like if you have to give an oral dissertation or something, oral defense of a position, or let's say you're competing on a contract to get money from a company to be a vendor or the government or something, you might be called in for oral exams, you might have to be interviewed. And if you present as some numpty dipshit in person after producing like a paper that's got PhD quality work, your career's hosed, your reputation's good as dirt at that point.
I've always been good with English and grammar. Just what's happening right now for me is I got lazy. So I'll do like half of the assignment, maybe like more than a half, and I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm not progressing. I don't really have any ideas. So I'll use like online articles with different stories. I'll look at that and I'll try to combine it into my story, or I'll like use ChatGPT. But I always will source anything that I take from the internet if it's from the internet. But if it's ChatGPT, I would just be like, it never happened. Because humanized AI makes all your words human, so it doesn't really matter. But I am gonna try to be more honest with my work, because like the last thing I want is to spend another $60 for this course for no reason.
Yeah, if you're allowed to use it, man, use it and disclose it. Be like, shoot, man, yep, it's a tool. I'm old enough to remember when I was at the point where I could have either become a computer nerd and embraced the internet, or I could have rejected it and said, no, it's just a fad. And I know a lot of people in my age group that went the other way, and they're like, no, computers are for nerds. The internet's just a fad, just a bunch of dorks using it. I can get by without it. I don't need to even learn how to type effectively. Those people have not progressed in their careers that much, and they're catching up and they're struggling.
Absolutely. And that's why it's important to, as you said, learn the resources and knowledge to actually do the assignment. Because let's say if somebody calls you and they're like, hey, we just want to test to see if you're actually doing this work. Here's a topic, write like 4 paragraphs. As soon as you do that, right? Excuse me, by the way. As soon as you do that, you're fucked. If you don't know how to write English literature, you're fucked. I could.
Yeah.
It's just,
or if you don't
I need
actually know the content
process.
So like you could be good at English, right? And you could be good at smooth talking, but you're not going to be able to out bullshit somebody who knows more about the topic than you. I mean, as flat earthers, we see this all the time. When globies come in, we know the globe, right? We're flat earthers because we studied the globe's claims so much. We tend to know way more about the heliocentric globe concept and the Big Bang cosmology than the people we debate with. Most of the time when we're asking questions, it's not because we're trying to get answers that we don't know. We already know the answers, and we're doing a shit test to figure out who we're dealing with. Do they have integrity? Are they an honest person? How much do they really know? The vast majority of the time, they're liars, man. They're liars. They're pretender clowns. It's actually kind of disappointing and reflects the state of affairs in modern society. If our interactions, at least here on this topic, are any indication of that on a greater whole.
Oh yeah. I actually get what you're saying. And I feel like that a lot of people are going to be doomed eventually, because you're going to continuously give out topics of reassurance, no matter what it is, like math, English, even like globe history, flat earth history, whatever it is. They're going to get this information, right? And they get this information. They're like, whoa, look at this. Oh my God, this is so cool. They copy and paste an article that they just read from 55 sources. That is all the wrong information that has been duplicated and recited by 50 people. And they're like, look at this. The globe is not a globe, right? And they're like, oh, well, this article isn't this and this and that. That flat earth person is going to get bitched. if the round Earth person does it about the Earth being round, they're also going to get bitched. That's the thing. So it's
Absolutely
always good
true.
that you go into TinEye, right? You go into TinEye, you take a picture of the title, and you look for that title, and you go back to the furthest part in TinEye where that TinEye photo was reproduced. You click on it, and then you go to the first article. That way, you're not getting misled. The easiest source, man.
It's really frustrating to overhear a conversation between like a glober and a flat earther, where both of them don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're just copying and pasting links at each other and scripts and saying scripted responses at each other. I just can't. Like when I hear that crap going on, I usually check out, or if I butt in, I'll try to politely steer it into something more authentic. But yeah, I mean, it's a problem that infects both sides of this.
Yep. There was one more thing that I wanted to mention that I saw. Somebody posted another server. It was like a Minecraft server, so I'm surprised I saw this. But somebody posted an article in a side chat, right? And it said, "Is flat Earth real or is it a fad?"
Yeah, it's just a fad. It's just a fad that's been a topic of considerable debate for a while. The debate's over, though.
It's retardation. I know it's retardation. But
the Nikon P900 killed the globe.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the reasons why I actually became a flat earther.
From the Nikon P900 pictures and videos?
Good morning. I'll be right back.
I think his mum's going to tell him off for admitting that he's a flat earther.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
I think his mum's going to tell him off for admitting he's a flat earther.
Get your ass down here! What the fuck? You talking about those flat earthers again? Get back to your room. No internet, no dessert.
No chat GPT.
You have to watch 3 hours of Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye the Science Guy before you can get dessert again.
Yeah, and now you have to do all your assignments without AI.
Say 10 Hail Marys to Carl Sagan. Hail Carl, full of grace.
I've heard him for the last few days. I'm not sure he is a flat earther.
He's brand new. This guy, Avi, he's a young guy. He's new. He seems very genuine. He just had it sounded like a motorcycle or bike accident, knocked out most of his teeth, and he had some minor surgery. So he's also a little loopy right now, which makes him really easy to talk to as well. But he's very pliant, and this is a good conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got gold status written all over him, folks. It took me like 3 years to get gold in 24/7. This guy's gonna rocket to the top.
Hey, Ben, anyway, man.
Yeah. What's up, Timbo, man? So glad to hear you back more often. You were gone for like 6 months.
Yeah, I had a good break. Did a few things.
That's good to take a break. I try to take breaks. I fail. Good for you.
Yeah, that's why I deleted my account. So I couldn't just randomly listen, because I listened on YouTube, and then I was like, oh, I just want to get in there.
Yeah. You guys are saying the wrong shit. Fuck you. I need to step in there.
Yeah, and I couldn't, so it was kind of good. And then I go, all right, time to get back.
Good on you, man.
Not as much, not as full on, but more enjoyable. What's that?
Well, it's like fasting from technology.
Yeah.
Man.
Good call. It is like fasting. It's true. Like when you come back to it after a little break, you have a different attitude towards it. And if you don't take it that seriously and have fun with it, it's better for your mental health.